Good morning, I'm Carl. Welcome to Coffee with the Garden Club. So today I wanted to talk about more seeds that you can get for free, essentially. Seeds that you could get from things that you are already buying, and you can safely save the seeds for your garden the next summer. There's some seeds from store-bought produce that you can save, and some seeds that, if you decide to save them, they probably won't turn out as well as you had hoped. So one of the ones that I'm going to talk about today is butternut squash. Now, one of the funny things about squash is many types of squash really are not great for saving straight from the store. Butternut squash is unusual in that if you buy it in the store, it is very likely to actually come out as you would expect and produce more butternut squash. This is true because the butternut squash is in the moschata family. This is also known as the crookneck pumpkins. And the reason that it is very likely that the seeds from this squash will grow true to type is that it's one of the very few crookneck pumpkin moschata squash that is actually grown for market, except in farmers markets and more unusual situations. So in general, because it's in the moschata family, it's often grown in large patches of butternut squash, and they're just cross-pollinating with each other, and they can't cross-pollinate with the summer squash or the other kinds of pumpkins that are being grown nearby. So you get a very good chance that when you take the seeds from this squash, they will end up producing what you want. So here are the steps that you can follow to save the seeds and get a whole bunch of seeds, all for the price of the squash, which you are probably going to eat anyway. The seeds are always found in this part of the squash, so if you cut carefully, you can usually save most of them. And honestly, there's so many seeds in there that you probably don't even need all of them. So sometimes what I will do is I will cut it down the middle, and then I'll take out the seeds, as you can see here, and then I'll just try and separate the seeds that are easy to separate. I don't bother trying to get every single seed. My instinct says save every seed, but sometimes it's just quicker. Just get the ones you can save, and you'll still get quite a few seeds, as you can see here. These are the seeds that I took out of another one just for demonstration purposes. Once you've got the seeds and you've separated them from all the other stuff in the cavity, you may want to rinse them off. You can do that using a small colander. That usually works well for me. And then you probably want to pat them dry and just set them out. It's a very easy process. Set them out for a couple of days, let them dry out thoroughly before putting them either in a plastic bag, or you may want to have a special envelope that you make to keep your seeds. And if you are swapping these seeds with other people, you should let them know that this was an open pollinated squash, and that there is a chance that it cross-pollinated with something else, but there's a fairly good chance that it will turn out just like you want. Now, I grow other squash from the moschata family, so when I have seeds and I let them open pollinate, there's a fairly good chance that they will actually cross-pollinate with other crookneck pumpkins. So the other squash that I grow that is in the same family is the trombetta squash, which is a much longer one. Actually, I'll get you one of those so you can see. This is a trombetta that actually was let grow to real maturity and is is able to be stored for quite a long time. That's why I like the crookneck pumpkins in general. They store very well, and they also have really good disease resistance. And I'm going to talk about that in another video, so we won't get into that right now, but that's one of the reasons that I also grow them. And the third reason I grow them is because most of them really don't mind growing vertically. They're good climbers on the whole. You can grow butternuts vertically. They're not the best climbers, but with a little bit of help, they'll climb up a vine, and usually they will be able to support their fruit, even though the fruit can get fairly heavy at the end of the season. I haven't seen them dropping while the plant was still alive. I suppose it's possible, but I haven't seen it happen. So I have most of my squash on trellises, and it's worked out really well for me because I can plant all kinds of things underneath and I don't have them trailing all over my garden. I've got a limited amount of space, and so I need to make the most of it. So the vertical space for me is really valuable. And I'm gonna, in another video also, I'll be showing you how I set up my trellises, which is a really easy system that you can mimic and quite possibly create a trellis system for yourself. So that's today's Coffee with the Garden Club. I'm really glad to see you this morning, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day.